are watching Canadian Muslim news on Muslim Network TV. From Toronto, Ontario, I'm Catherine Bullock. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. Up next, a conversation with Peel Crime Stoppers about their car show and road safety campaign. But first, some news headlines. Vancouver police officers now permitted to wear kippahs with uniform. Task force demands change in anti-racism strategy in medical college. Inspiring film about Syrian refugee success story screens in Ottawa. And mobile library combats child illiteracy in Afghanistan. Now the details. The Vancouver Police Department will modify their policies to allow Jewish officers to wear a kippah with their uniform. A kippah is a traditional head covering for Jews. The department's director says the change came as their equity, diversity, and inclusion policy is under review. He says that a civil society organization identified the gap in their inclusion policy, that being no clause permitting the use of kippahs. The director claims this was not brought to his attention before, but now they will make the change now that they are aware. An external study of anti-Black racism in Nova Scotia's College of Physicians and Surgeons reveals the need for more training and inclusionary policies. A task force who identified as African, Nova Scotian, or Black found 75% of respondents say they did not receive any training on anti-Black racism. Interviewed physicians also say that complaints of racism were often downplayed or neglected. The task force chair tells media sources that the denial of systemic racism is, quote, ignorant. The college's CEO says the force's recommendations are, quote, reasonable, and they have already started to fulfill them. A new film about a Muslim refugee family is taking to the big screens in Bytown Cinema in Ottawa, Ontario. Peace by Chocolate is a true story that features the Hadhad family, who relocated to Nova Scotia after the destruction of their chocolate factory in Syria. A drama and comedy, the story follows the family building their business from the ground up in their new surroundings. The movie highlights the important role everyday Canadians have in community sponsorship programs and helping refugees rebuild their lives. The film will be screened from June 3rd to the 7th. An Afghan NGO has organized a mobile education program to tour remote areas of Afghanistan. Pen Path Civil Society gives lessons and library books to children who might otherwise be starved of any opportunity to learn. The mobile library includes books on history and geography, as well as children's fiction in Pashto and Dari. Matiullah Wisa and his brother Ataullah founded the mobile program in 2009 to fight illiteracy in Afghanistan. The country is facing a humanitarian crisis after the withdrawal of foreign troops last August and the fall of the US-backed Kabul government. And that's it for the news. This past weekend, car enthusiasts headed to the Erin Mills Town Centre for a community car show with Peel Crime Stoppers. We have our guest Imran Hasan to tell us all about it. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show.
Walaikum assalam, Sister Kathy, and thank you once again for having me on your show.
It's our pleasure. We learn a lot of interesting things that Peel Crime Stoppers is up to, the latest one being a car show. So tell us all about it.
Well, it happened this past weekend, which was Saturday, May the 28th. It happened between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. at the Erin Mills Town Centre. And the theme of our initiative was to promote road safety and school zone safety and tire safety and all of the positive messages that are, surrounding drivers and cars and people. And it was really well received by the public.
Tell me a little bit about how having a car show helps promote road safety.
So I think we can maybe back up by telling a little bit how I got to know about this car club and why I, felt it was important to put together some kind of an initiative. When I met up with the car club last year, they were hosting an event at a different parking lot, and it was without any permission or organization. They just met up, and it was great. It was really well attended. but I felt there was a missing component, and that was the community collaboration with police. And so when I brought that up, the car club president said, we've never really had a positive dialogue with the police, and it would be great if we could organize something in partnership. And I said, well, allow Peel Crime Stoppers to be the conduit, and what we'll do is break down that barrier and stigma that's associated to car culture and to police. And to policing, and perhaps we can bridge the divide. And so we did that, and we organized it as a fundraiser. We reached out to our community partners at the Ministry of Transportation Ontario, as well as CAA, who came together and helped provide a positive message and bring those community stakeholders together.
So let's talk about the community stakeholders in a moment, but I just want to pick up on something you just said about car culture and the police.
Yeah.
Usually, when we're driving, we feel like we have to watch out for the hidden cars and the police who are chasing us down and catching us. And so is that what they meant by not having a positive dialogue with the police?
That it's really more specific, Sister Kathy. It's about the stereotype that car clubs are about racing and about conducting inappropriate and illegal activities on the roads, and that couldn't be furthest from the truth. Car clubs are very sensitive and very particular about their cars, and they preserve them and like to show them off. And I think also the same would go for police. Police, by and large, 99% of the services are out there to help bring a positive message to the public, and I think oftentimes that narrative or stereotype about police always chasing people is created. Of course that happens, but I think by and large we're all out to build safer and stronger communities through dialogue, and I think this was an opportunity to create that dialogue.
So you mentioned about preserving and looking after their cars. So were there cars from like the 1920s and 30s there, all polished and shiny?
There really were. There were cars that were vintage cars, there were classic cars, and there were modern cars. My personal favorite was the Ford GT that showed up, and they showed up with the car earlier on so they could get the appropriate location in the parking lot. And I have to say that it was one of the most well attended areas of the parking lot because of this particular vehicle.
Okay, so I'm not a car person at all. What's a Ford GT?
Oh, it's a supercar, and when it was released in 2018, just to give you some monetary numbers, they only produced 400. What I learned about the Ford GT is that it was produced right here in Canada, in fact, in Markham, Ontario, and it was sold originally for I think it was $700,000, and the retail value of that car today is somewhere in the range of 1.5 million.
Oh, it's like buying a house.
It is more than buying a house on wheels. It was a phenomenal experience, and for any enthusiast, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity to be up and close, not only with the car but also with the car owner and driver, who was a very down to earth individual, which happens to be a local community stakeholder as well.
When I think of car culture, I think of pollution, and I'm wondering what the climate change activists think about a car club show.
Interesting you say that, Sister Kathy. There was a gentleman who brought his Ford GT Mustang, and it was 100% electric car. So not only did we have gas guzzlers, but we also had eco-friendly vehicles.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So you mentioned about promoting road safety. Tell us a little bit more about how the road safety element was part of this particular show.
Well, we had our community partners at CAA, the Canadian Automobile Association, and they were providing road safety tips on how to travel safely, and some of the things that you need to do before you start your travel, like check your tire pressure and make sure you map out your routes and that you're traveling safely with the appropriate safety equipment. And then we had our friends at the Ministry of Transportation Ontario who were there presenting the safety tips for your seatbelts, as well as how to install car seats for babies properly in your vehicle. And then finally, we had our friends at National Tire. They're a local tire distributor who were providing, again, safety tips about, the proper inflation levels of your tires, whether it was underinflated or overdeflated, and how to get, proper fuel economy from your car when your tires are properly inflated, and when to know when to, change over your tires from summer to winter, and those kinds of, positive messages.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about the kind of people who are coming.
Oh my goodness, we had families of all walks of life from various different ethnic communities, and we had children. And of course, I failed to mention that we had an ice cream truck present, and it was a little bit of a sort of a attraction. There was a lineup from 5:30 when the before the show started till 9:30 when I wrapped up and left. There was still a lineup, and the ice cream truck owner reported over 250 ice cream cones were served, and he also served slushies and milkshakes and some sundaes. So it was a very good day for the ice cream truck owner, and we love when we can collaborate with local independent business owners like that and help support the economy as well. And I think that's very important. And I should also say that Peel Regional Police was present, and they were there to provide, again, just that encouragement and positive engagement and dialogue with the public for community safety and well-being.
I think the ice cream truck would have been the only car I'd be interested in at a show like that. What a long, that guy must have been so busy all day pouring like that.
He was, and he wasn't complaining, I can assure you that. And I'll tell you a little tidbit of information. After the show was over and before I left, I walked up to the ice cream truck and I asked him, I said, listen, how was the day for you? And he said, Imran, he said, it was fantastic. And I said, did we meet your expectations? He said, no. He said, you exceeded my expectations. I said, well, if you think you did well, if you feel there's an opportunity to give back to the community, we'd love to, have a donation to Peel Crime Stoppers. He immediately started to pull out his wallet. And I said, no, I don't need your cash. I would love for you to go on our website and make a donation through our website portal at peelcrimestoppers.ca. And he said, I would love to do that. In fact, I'll get a tax receipt when I do that, and it's even better than my giving you the cash donation. So that was the sort of cherry, if I could say, on top.
All right, very nice, cherry on top. So we're almost out of time, but do you think there was one key message that you'd like to share as we go of the event?
It's really important to emphasize that community safety and well-being is really a shared responsibility, and each and every one of us have a role to play. And whether it's CAA, MTO, Peel Regional Police, Peel Crime Stoppers, and the public, and it's through the media such as yourselves who are helping get the message out to the public. And I think that's so very important so that we can continue to build on positive messages.
Well, thanks for joining us. We look forward to next month's installment to find out what Peel Crime Stoppers is up to for June.
Yeah, we've got some exciting initiatives coming. If I can just mention, we have a document shredding fundraiser coming up on the 11th of June. And the message there is help, protect your identity and prevent fraud by destroying safely all of your unwanted confidential documents, whether it be passports or, financial statements or any records that you have. Because, those people that want to grab your identity and impersonate you will do so by going through your mail. So never, ever put your unwanted mail into a recycling bin, always, if possible.
Right. Well, that's a very important topic, but we're out of time. Thanks for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for watching Canadian Muslim News. If you like what we do, please share, like, and subscribe. Stay safe and God bless.